Hello, welcome back to another episode of Somewhere Between a film and TV podcast. We are your hosts. I am Daniel Parr.
And I'm Erwin Trejo.
And number one, thank you so much for listening and watching. Number two, what are they going to do?
They're going to like, comment, and subscribe.
Erwin, enough monkeying around. What are we reviewing?
Bananas.
No. I mean, they're fine. They're good fruit.
I ate a banana
They always
this
want to be
morning.
the star of the show whenever they're in a smoothie.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I love a good banana.
I do too, but they they overpower literally everything.
I mean, that's what bananas do, right? They
I
just
guess so.
overpower.
Yeah. Anyway, let's let's peel things back a little bit. What is this?
Yellow.
Okay. What is
Potassium.
No.
Okay.
What is this movie about?
Eating enough potassium will dehydrate your face.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
You're
So
gonna
eating a bunch of bananas and like coconut water.
You try to mog everybody.
Yeah.
What is The Monkey about?
The Monkey is about this family basically getting this toy box, and in that box is a monkey. And I don't know what that type of toy is, where it's like wasn't it supposed to be a clapping monkey?
So I can explain
Yeah.
why it isn't. It's a copyright reason.
Yes.
And
From Toy Story.
From Toy Story 3. And that monkey was just as freaky in that as it is in this.
Yes. But a monkey that basically plays the drums.
Yeah.
And whenever you twist the key in the back, the monkey decides who to kill.
Yeah. And this movie repeats its rules quite a bit.
Yes.
But before we get into all of that and who directed this, everything, did you love it? Did you hate it? Or are you somewhere between?
I loved it.
I did too. Yeah. This movie's awesome.
Wait, what? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Or are you somewhere between?
I loved this movie. I had heard it was great, but then I'd heard some of the audiences, and then some critics were like, I don't think I get this. But as someone who's a huge fan of Malignant, and who, like, he was a producer on this, James Wan.
Oh, Malignant.
Yeah.
I did see that.
Yeah, which I love. And, like, it
I was mixed.
But you know exactly what I'm, like, the point I'm making, though, right?
Yes.
It's
sure.
very funny. It's really gory. It's scary to a point because it utilizes the tension really well.
Yes.
And I also loved Osgood Perkins' Longlegs. We've reviewed it. It's like actually one of our most viewed videos on here. But this is such a wild swing in like a totally different direction. But what did you like about this so much?
I think what I loved about it was honestly the humor. I did not expect to laugh as much as I did in this movie. Because of course seeing Longlegs, I just thought it was going to be something similar to that.
Yeah.
And I definitely got that same tension from Longlegs in this movie too. Whenever it would have moments where the monkey was shown, and like whenever the kills would appear to happen as well, because it gave me that mix of like Final Destination meets like a Judd Apatow movie, where the humor is just like super bad, because like at first when it's like the first half is like the kids,
the kids almost entirely, which I should have figured, because that's the most like Stephen King feeling thing in it.
Always working with kids.
I mean, like he bases a lot of his like childhood trauma and things off of that, literally his childhood. But it's kind of funny.
Disgusting.
It's kind of funny because it wraps around, right? And then like
a banana.
Exactly like that. But you see something like Stranger Things, and then of course you're like reminded of that, but that's because it's based off of all of Stephen King's older stuff.
Like a banana.
Yeah. Peel back the layers, I guess.
Like an onion.
You know, I don't think this is
it's not a good joke anymore. All right, no. Okay, we'll leave it. We'll leave it out for a bit.
Okay. For a bit. But
it's like, oh no.
Gonna bring it back like 20 minutes later.
What did you love about this movie?
I was not really that surprised by the tone of this, just because I felt like the trailer felt like that the whole time.
Dude, not at all.
Really?
I didn't get that from the trailer.
I got that entirely from the trailer, because there's a line. There's so many deliveries like this, by the way, because Theo James, so good in this movie. But
I'm trying to think about other movies he's been in that I've seen besides Divergent.
That's what I've seen that he's in, and I've seen him in clips of White Lotus, because I haven't seen White Lotus show
yet.
Yeah, and I've heard he's great in that, I think. But no, there's a moment in the trailer where he's like, we must vanquish the monkey, and like just the tone, like the line delivery is like his dipshit brother.
Yeah.
In this, they actually call him that a lot. but the one that's actually an idiot, like, says stuff so seriously. But I'm getting ahead of myself here because we got to do our positives and negatives. But towards the end of the movie, I like, it's not even a death. I like kind of die laughing whenever he's like, I mean, I lost my mom too because we have the same mom. You're like, what? He's like, I never thought about it like that.
But then again, I think it just goes back to like the trauma of it too.
Yeah.
Just because, or like the psychological trauma that he genuinely felt that his brother did something to his mom. And so like at that point, it's like I didn't see him as my brother anymore, just saw him as a threat to get rid of. So I can see why he would think that way.
No, because I mean, it's kind of interesting because like it does loop back around. Like this movie does have something to say, and it's funny because we have talked about how many horror movies are about like childhood trauma and all that. This one though,
you know, like a movie that when it has good trauma, it's gonna be good.
It's like every horror movie, but this one to an extent was kind of like almost making fun of it. Yeah. And then like,
hey, Adam Scott was in this too. That was awesome.
Shout out to Severance right now, which I got to catch up on, but like I
got a mustard on too.
Yeah, but he was like,
you didn't like it?
I mean, I knew what you meant, but he's only in like one scene, and so I was kind of surprised. Him and Elijah Wood are in this.
Oh yeah,
yeah. But I think that's just because they're both like deep cut horror fans. This
I'm gonna sneeze.
This to an extent, bless you.
You're not a priest.
This to an extent though kind of reminded me of Terrifier's humor a little bit, in the sense that it's like really, I mean, so that's more fucked up. Like I nothing's ever gonna touch that really.
I don't know. Seeing that woman pushing that baby stroller and baby on fire, I was like,
that made
whoa.
me laugh. Yeah, but there's a lot of stuff in this that's like really violent that made me laugh. Like, because some of the deaths ask you to kind of be like, I don't know how vocal your crowd was. Mine was like loud.
They were laughing at a lot of things that when I guess like when the humor was like presented as well.
Yeah.
But also with I think the deaths people started to laugh at more at the very end.
Yeah.
Not in the beginning.
So in the beginning, I don't know. I really do feel like people walked into this movie not necessarily knowing like what its goals were.
Yes. Because
I saw its audience score has been steadily declining.
Really?
On Rotten Tomatoes, because it started off at like the pre-screenings from people that are probably familiar with this material. It was at like 90%.
Dang.
And now it's at like 61% on the audience score.
Oh, that's insane.
But if you look at like, because I went on to Rotten Tomatoes, I looked at the audience reviews, and they were like, half of them were like, great, really funny. And then other people were like, over the top, campy, didn't understand it. And then you're like, okay, to a point, if you didn't find it funny, I get that. But if you went into it and were like, why is it so goofy?
Yeah.
And expected something straightforward, I think I understand that. But
yeah, I think just when the movie's being sold as a horror movie, and that's it, and more so than a comedy. And so like in this movie, it felt like it had a good balance of both. Yeah. And so then I can see why it would be underwhelming. Yeah. Or like even just being disappointed at the fact that it wasn't just a horror movie throughout.
Yeah, my one critique of this movie is it should have been released in October, but like
that's like every horror movie.
I know, but this one specifically, I was kind of like, this should be like an October thing.
That's okay.
It doesn't matter.
I don't think it matters. It kind of sucks. I imagine like 30 horror movies coming out just in October.
Yeah. Oh, okay. What else did you like about it?
Oh, honestly, I like the performances from the kids. Yeah. Because it's actually one kid.
It's one kid.
Yeah. Yeah. But like they did a great job in like just being kids.
No, because you saying I was like, they did feel like two different.
Dude, right?
Yeah.
I think because even with Theo James, he definitely did a great job balancing like two different personalities.
Yeah, and that's really hard to do because like they gave him like that stupid mullet when he's older, and then like
that was ugly.
But like it's
we're getting another one too with Sinners with Michael B. Jordan playing.
I'm so excited for that movie, but that thing, because like I said, I think the first half of this movie is when they're kids. Yes. It went on for way longer than I thought it was going to. I was gonna be like that natural, like, oh, the first death's gonna happen, and then it's gonna be like 25 years later. Yeah. But no, it kind of kept going, and I was like, I don't really have a problem with this. And
I think what I also love is just like the interactions that they would have with one another. Yeah. Because it still continued on when they were adults, too. Because they still treated each other like they were brothers still. Because sometimes, like, whenever movies would just showcase them as kids and then as adults, especially when kids, like, they banter a certain way. Yeah. Sometimes, like, they don't showcase that as when they get older.
No,
as
once
siblings.
they get older, you're kind of like, do they just like know each other? Because like, they just sort of feel.
It's like, oh great, now they have to be grown ups.
Yeah.
Like, no.
No, these guys still kind of act like, especially his brother, like
Yeah.
they never grew up.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, kind of when I picked up how funny this was when I think it's Osgood Perkins. He does a cameo as like the uncle.
Oh yeah.
Whenever he's like, we're going to try our best, even though our best is probably really bad. Or
also, we're
like
swingers.
Yeah, when they said that, and I was like, that's funny.
Because swinging is fun.
Yeah. No.
No, like swings.
Oh, swinging is fun. Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
No, but the whole like aesthetic and vibe is supposed to be very throwback to like the 80s, of course, which I know people are fucking sick of. But people like have complained about how many like there was a period of time there where everything wanted to be Stranger Things for a little bit. It was like about a year or two, but it was there.
Mm-hmm.
And then this kind of felt interesting because it still kept up that vibe even though it was present day.
Yeah.
I think it's just because they wanted it to like, it was very, whatever city they were in was
I think
really,
it was in Maine.
Yeah, it was in Maine.
Yeah.
But it was really weird. Like because the cheerleaders and stuff, they kept cheering every time anybody was dying. Yeah.
That was weird.
This movie kind of had like obviously Stephen King, but inspired by like Twin Peaks kind of weirdness to it.
Did you see that show?
Yeah.
All of it?
Uh-huh.
What do you think?
Actually, I haven't seen season 3.
Oh.
I do need to. First season, one of the best things ever made. Season 2 is good. Movie's one of the best movies ever made, and I need to watch that final season.
Would you watch the movie before the show, or is it after?
I think I did it after.
Okay.
You might be, off topic, but like you might be a little confused, but I would do it after.
Okay.
But no, the kids are amazing in this, and I also really, really like Tatiana Maslany.
Yeah.
In this.
I honestly thought like from the trailer she was gonna be in it more.
Yeah.
She didn't have a big part, which I guess it makes sense because she was playing the mother to the kids, and so. But I was still glad to see her in this.
Something I found interesting because like the whole point of this movie is because I want to ask you a question about the theme of it because the theme's obvious. It's stated within the movie. But there's a specific type of viewer, I think, that might differ on if this is a hopeful movie or a very negative movie. And it's in the sense of that funeral scene where it's like, and she says that line where she basically traumatizes these kids where it's like, everybody dies, and that's life.
That's life.
And I actually honestly thought this movie was going to end on that Frank Sinatra song. But what did she say? Because I said it to you right before we started recording, where it was like either everything is random or nothing is random. But she's like, either way, let's go dancing.
Yeah.
And like it's supposed to be really strange, right? But they do go dancing, but to an extent, depending on the interpretation of this movie, because the entire point, I don't know if you knew like why he made this in the first place, like the backstory.
Oh, why Stephen King wrote this?
No, Osgood Perkins got attached to this material.
No, why?
So this was one of those very much like put yourself into your work type of things where his dad, Anthony Perkins, died of AIDS, I believe. And it was kind of not out of nowhere, but like obviously not super pronounced. Like it wasn't said. And then his mom died in one of the planes that was during 9/11.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And wow, that's insane.
So obviously the material would be like, is death random? Which the answer is yes.
Yes.
And it takes your loved ones really at any given moment. But the question is, do you live in the sense of like existentialist or like the existentialism or nihilism where you dread death and you hate everything because of it and you don't do anything like Theo James, the counterpoint brother?
Yes.
Or do you just stop and you're like, well, we have now. Let's just enjoy now. So my question to you is based off of that. Do you think that this movie was more in the line of the positive way of thinking or the negative way of thinking?
I think from what I got from the movie, it was very positive, but I just think it's because of the way it ended too.
Yeah.
And that definitely makes sense just because even with the monkey being, I guess how the other brother the one with the mullet.
Yeah.
He how he viewed the monkey as somebody thinking that he can specifically target
And you can control
like what the monkey does, but that's not how it is.
Yeah.
And so him also thinking like this is the devil that is controlling the monkey and like choosing this and that. But really it's just what the theme was just like death happens randomly.
Yeah.
And I like to think that even with that happening throughout your life, that you should still enjoy what you can.
Yeah. No, because they both spend so much of the movie in their own way.
Yes.
In fear.
Yes.
Of everything. So like the whole counterpoint, like his kid is super weird in this movie, but I liked the kid. There's honestly like
I wish there was more of the kid, to be honest.
Right.
Or like just like that dynamic.
I wanted more of the weird cult leader Elijah Wood.
Oh yeah, that was just like there, and I was like, oh, Jesus is like father or something.
No, I like where he was like, I took all of your power, but see, that felt like it was from like a Judd Apatow.
Yeah.
Like, we're like, what are we doing?
What are we doing here?
Yeah.
That's why I was like, this movie feels like in that universe too, where like the comedic side.
Yeah.
But I think what I loved about it was whenever Theo James said that at that funeral was the best day of his life because of the dancing. Because I think that was like the last time he ever had hope.
Yeah.
And then after that, it was just very continuous.
No, because he was like, this is the last time. Because they say towards the end, they're like, well, we keep it close. We don't let it get in anybody's hands. And it's one of those things where I feel like this movie, yes, you can get caught off guard by how random it is. Mm-hmm. And I love stuff like this, though. Like, I knew exactly the point this movie was making, like, pretty early on. But it's so set on by the ending when the person that is like on a horse that's like on fire is probably just death but walks by.
I was assuming it was like the Grim Reaper or something, like their version of it,
which you can interpret as, okay, did that happen because that guy might have been like caught in a bunch of smoke and because there were a bunch of random events happening outside, or is that actually what that is? Either way, it doesn't matter. And
I like to think of it where it's like they saw so much death that they got to see what I guess the Grim Reaper was seeing like throughout, and it was like him, just like the presence of it too.
No, that's why yes, I love the Final Destination movies. Yes, there's some heavy DNA in this movie with those, especially like early on when it starts to do this, like I'm like, this is such a, I know this trick where the rat is crawling and then it's like falling down and then the harpoon shoots through the guy. I'm like, yeah, I know that. But what this movie does that's very in its own universe is it's almost like Bugs Bunny Looney Tunes level of slapstick sometimes with all of the gore.
I'm Bugs Bunny.
Are you?
Yeah, you're Daffy.
I'm Daffy? I'm fine with that. Yeah. If you're always trying to kill Elmer Fudd.
Okay.
Yeah. But
sounds good to me.
Do you have any more very specific positives, or do we want to get into like your favorite deaths in this movie, because there are so many?
Probably go to my deaths.
Okay.
I would say my favorite death oh shoot, I don't want to say the bees. Dude, yes. It was just so
random.
Yeah But like it's like obvious what like something had to do with that bee, like the honeycomb. And but I didn't know it was gonna be in that way where like the bees would just go in through that one gunshot hole into the kid's like mouth. Yeah. And just him becoming that honeycomb instead.
That's another one of those plot points where you're like, what does this mean? Like, where is that going? But I do think this movie's going to have a huge audience in the future. Like, I think that this is going to be one of those types of movies where it's like, it's kind of constantly like, have you seen The Monkey? Yeah. And then they're like, either like, yeah, it's fine or whatever. But then there's going to be some people that are so passionately in love with this. Like, I loved this a lot because it's got such a distinct vision. Even if it didn't fully work, which I think it does, it's worth it in the end, because it's not like, I could easily see this where it's just kind of like, yeah, fine, I guess. Yeah. Like, it could have so easily been so close to something like The Ring, which is a great movie, or Smile, which is a good movie, Smile 2, which is amazing. Yes. But it differentiates itself in the sense that it is really funny and then messes with the rules in like a way that you don't really expect.
What's that one movie where like she dies every day and it's like Groundhog Day?
Happy Death Day?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Good movie. I haven't seen the second one.
Is that one like also heavy with like comedy? Or
It's
no?
straight up a horror comedy, yeah.
Okay.
Like even more so than this was,
okay.
yeah. But that one again, I remember originally seeing it and people were like, "Is this supposed to be like this?" And then like whenever, I don't think people know how to market horror comedies, but
No, I don't. I think if anything, they should market things as a like a comedy first,
yeah,
and then a horror after, and then like of course like when watching it, they're gonna be like, oh, this is also a horror movie.
yeah. I think this. I don't know what people's expectations of horror movies are anymore.
No.
But I think this movie's so gross anyway that you're kind of like, even in the Red Band trailer, it's not like you can really show some of the stuff that's in this. Plus,
What's your favorite death?
I love a lot of them. This is gonna be one of those things that's like on one of those YouTube channels where it does all the kill count stuff because there were so many.
Oh,
But,
like the plane too. That one was great.
Yes, that's probably. I mean, you probably included that for a reason.
Yeah,
But
that makes sense now. Yeah.
I loved. Honestly, this one's so simple, but one of the early ones, because I laughed out loud, was the babysitter. And then she starts being cooked on the table. I'm sorry, I thought that was hilarious because his reaction is, "I was gonna marry that girl."
I was gonna marry that girl.
And I was like, "What is this?" I was like,
"No, dude." My favorite thing from those kids was whenever, the one with the glasses. Let's say,
yeah,
he goes up to the monkey,
yeah.
and then the other brother goes, "Say you're Miss Monkey."
Oh yeah.
Say you want to suck his banana.
Oh yeah. No. Hey, the banana thing.
Yeah.
No, whenever
gonna come back.
It was funny because whenever they were like bullying him, I didn't know that it was his brother. I thought that was like, why are these girls so mean to him?
Oh yeah, that's true.
And then I was like,
hey, he came up like a thug.
yeah, I'm kind of I'm kind of confused.
Why he's a thug?
No, I was kind of confused though as to why like whenever they were bringing all the bananas and stuff, my initial thought was, I was like, where'd they get those?
Where'd they get all those bananas?
Probably from the school cafeteria.
Dude, they wasted so much bananas on
I know,
him.
that's like...
All that potassium gone.
I don't get bullying, but like...
I get it.
To an extent.
Yeah.
Where it's the... you know what?
Whoa! Guys, bullying is bad.
It is bad. Actually...
I don't know. There's some people on my mind right now that I'm just like, maybe.
Okay, anyway.
Yes, go.
The other one was... I really like the way the fish hook thing.
Fish hook thing?
When their aunt dies.
Oh.
And she applies rubbing alcohol to
Yeah.
her face, and then she gets set on fire, and then goes straight through the unsail thing.
Yeah.
Like, that was crazy. I loved that
cool.
one. And...
I like the skydiving one. Like the skydiver.
Dude, there was...
From like the pamphlet that they were...
Yeah.
he was reading.
Yeah.
About skydiving.
That was funny.
Or like wedding skydiving.
Yeah, no, whenever he's like, they do skydiving lessons. There were so many deaths in this that I'm like... There were... Because some of them, like this...
They happen rapidly at one point.
Yeah, I want to say, though, I feel the inspiration from a bunch of new editors that very clearly have seen Family Guy. But, like...
Why?
Because they do the same format of shock humor where they cut straight to the thing happening and then they go, oh yeah, that was crazy.
Oh.
Like that is beat for beat how that show is structured.
Yeah.
And we just talked about that with Companion.
Yes.
And so it's just something I've noticed. Like, don't get me wrong, I know that Seth MacFarlane didn't invent the cutaway joke, but like he did definitely popularize it.
Mm-hmm.
But that one, and I heard my audience gasp, but I saw the one with the brother coming from like a mile away when he dies.
Oh yeah, I guess when how it connected back to the beginning.
Yeah. Oh, with the bowling ball and everything.
Yes.
That was great.
Well, because it's like they casually have it where they shot the bowling ball going into the bucket.
Yeah.
And then just cut off from there for a long time. I was like, where was that going?
They always do that with like a Chekhov's thing where it's like, where's that gonna go? I don't know. And
I don't know.
And sometimes they set up.
They say, come with us if you want to live.
Like Terminator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he's like, okay, whatever. Dies.
Yeah, sure. But any negatives here?
No, I can't think of anything that I just like didn't like.
I loved it a lot. I just kind of felt like
it was short.
At a point, I wanted it to be longer.
Yeah.
That was one of those things where I'm like, yes, I know. It's like, leave them wanting more, all that. But like, it was sort of one of those things where it almost felt like I don't know, just not even necessarily more deaths. I was like, I kind of just wanted to get to know these people that are in this world more. I was like, because it's a bunch of weirdos, and like I just liked being there.
Mm-hmm.
This is gonna be a heavy rewatch for me. I'll tell you right now.
I think if anything, I would love to see the other brother with the mullet.
Yeah.
To see his life and like what he's been up to. I know like they just casually like just did it super fast and like what he's been doing, but also like what made him stay in that position more so than just him just being like, I took the monkey. His
like super villain reveal was really funny. That's how like this movie's so self-aware of itself to an extent. And he's even got his old like Guy Fieri Hawaiian shirt on. Like
whenever he puts on his small tuxedo again.
That was so funny.
I was like, oh, that's good.
Whenever he's like, no more funerals. I'm not going to take this off. But whenever he was like, Theo James' like whole speech, whenever he's like, and I went back for you that night. Like, what is this guy dealing with? But I like that too, because it's also an attachment to not being able to move on, which, like, yes, this movie deals heavy with death, and it's like super on the nose. But I was talking to some of my students about this, and they like quite a few of them saw it, but they were like, I didn't really get it. And to a point, I think, I mean, they literally spell it out for you, but still, I mean, sometimes people don't.
Yeah, I think you get caught up with like the actual like deaths of the movie, or like the humor, then you don't really catch like what the theme is happening.
Yeah, and if you're like, well, it's just a bunch of random stuff happening, I'm like, well, I mean, yes.
Yes.
We haven't even
like
talked
when we watch the scary movies,
which I don't like, and you love.
Absolutely. Do I?
I don't know.
No. Or with whenever I watch the haunted house movies,
those are worse.
I haven't seen any of them.
They're really bad. But
when I see a superhero movie, I actually like that one.
Yeah. No, that's funny.
The Epic movie.
No.
Oh.
Off topic.
Meet the Spartans.
No, worse.
Yeah. Oh. Fudge.
Did I tell you this? It's gonna be funny because if my dad listens to this, he's gonna be like, "Oh no!" But off topic because we're wrapping up here. But my dad, after we got out of Epic movie, said, "Don't tell anybody we ever saw that in a theater."
And we did, or you did. Yeah, I did not see it in theaters.
And this is currently not recorded. So
great.
Yeah.
Nice.
Meet the Spartans. No, I didn't. But
you know bad.
What? Yeah, it is.
I hate those type of movies.
Yeah.
Parody movies.
They stopped making them.
Yeah. No, aren't they doing them again?
Yeah, a scary movie.
Oh yeah.
Because people love them. But let's talk about one more thing, because we haven't really touched on it. The titular monkey itself. Did you like its design?
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, I loved this thing. I love how it looks.
Especially with the mouth when it's like,
it was creepy as fuck when it did that. Like, I didn't know that it was going to do that, but the teeth are so almost like real and rigid looking, which obviously whenever they cut into it starts bleeding. I think it is so smart that this thing is unexplained. It should never be explained. And
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, I wish I knew, but at the same time, I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah.
And you're just thrown into this right away. Also, whenever he starts banging the really drum fast, I don't know how I felt during that moment. I just knew, I was like, what is happening? What is going on? And then afterwards seeing like the death montage of it happening too, I was like, that was like the scariest thing to me.
No, because it made you realize that you were like, so this thing, whatever it is, has been deliberately only doing one at a time. It could have been doing more if it wanted to.
Yeah.
But I thought that was great. I love this movie. I loved it a lot. I think it's interesting. I think we've seen a lot of horror movies already this year, and this one I think is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Overall, what'd you think of it, and what's your score?
I love this movie. I definitely think it's a movie worth watching with others too, and just seeing like how they would react to this movie. I would say just go in there with an open mind.
Open mind, yeah.
And not just expect it to be just a horror movie.
Yeah. It's more than that. Mileage may vary, I guess. I do think it's scary to an extent, but you might also find it so funny that you're kind of like...
Yeah.
Because it's not like there are jump scares necessarily. There are things that happen out of nowhere. Mm-hmm. But...
I think at one point the deaths just become comedic, too. Because you're just like, someone's going to die. Yeah. You just don't know how.
It does do that thing to an extent. Like I said, the movies I love, Terrifier, where you're like, this dude's obviously dying. In what extreme way?
Like, this guy's annoying. He's going to die.
In what way? I don't know.
I don't know yet.
But
I love this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would give it 4.5.
Okay.
Out of 5.
We've been on the same page lately. I'm also giving this a
what are we
4.5 out of 5. The Monkey.
The movie.
I almost brought it. I almost brought the book, but I forgot it because I read the short story a long time ago.
Yeah.
But I don't remember it. But I love this a lot. I'm excited about movies this year. It's been cool.
Movies are back, guys.
Movies are so back, but have they ever left?
Yeah, no.
No?
No, they have never left.
No, I mean, there's always one coming out.
That's true.
That's why we review things weekly. Anyway, what is up next? Oh, wait. Actually, sorry.
Oh.
This movie looks amazing. I loved how it looked. It was shot so well.
Yeah, I agree.
I saw it on 35mm film. I want to flex that. It was awesome.
Saw it 35 times.
I did, yeah. Dude. Imagine I'd be like, I'm so fucking sick of them.
I fucking hate this monkey.
What's up next?
Paddington. In
Chaddington 3, yeah.
Chaddington.
I love those movies. We'll talk about it. And then after that...
I'm doing the stare.
Oh, the Stern Stare? We'll get to it.
Yeah.
All right, thank you guys so much for listening and watching. Monkey around with us some more. What are they going to do?
Dude, that was bad.
Weird.
Bananas. They're going to like, comment, and subscribe.
Subscribe if we didn't drive you bananas, but do it anyway.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Peel it off.
Yeah. No. Put the like button on, but don't peel it off because we can't have them doing that.
What?
Please like
Okay, yes. Like and comment, subscribe.
We will have that for you, and then also the Oscar stuff next week, which is going to be exciting, I think.
I really hope something crazy happens at the
Something
Oscars.
crazy is going to happen, I'm sure.
Yeah, but I really hope it's not just bad jokes. I want someone
It's always
to be
bad
like,
jokes.
Yeah, but I want it to be like something like somebody said accidentally, and then they get canceled or something.
I mean, that happens every day.
Yeah, but like at the Oscars too.
That's true.
Something else to talk about. The drama.
Hollywood's biggest night.
Yeah.
That's what they call it. All right, thank you guys again
I'm going to be big that night.
so much for listening and watching. I'm sure you are.